Right, as reported by India Today on the 27th of October, the Lodha panel has sought audit reports of 4 state associations from the BCCI. The reform panel has sought audit reports of Odisha, Hyderabad, Jammu and Kashmir and Assam associations. India Today had reported last week that the Lodha panel may ask for these audits that were done by Deloitte, which pointed various discrepancies in accounts managed by these state associations. Now, in a letter to the BCCI President and Secretary, the panel has asked the board to submit these reports within 5 days. BCCI had sought clarification on whether funds can be released to these associations. Meanwhile, though BCCI sources have told India Today that they have no problem in submitting these audit reports to the Lodha panel, all documents are being compiled and they will be submitted soon. We have Boria Majumdar, our consulting editor of sports, who's with us on the phone line. Boria, reaction coming in from the BCCI saying it's more than willing to submit these reports.
Yeah, and they have to. What can they say? I mean, the Lodha panel is a Supreme Court appointed committee, and these are reports which have been with the BCCI from May. There is no other option. I mean, if the BCCI says it won't submit this report, it will be a huge, huge blotch. So, Sini, the basic they can do is submit the report and they'll have to face the consequences. There will be consequences. Make no mistake about it. Once you make it public, the question 1, 2, 3, 1, why was this report not made public in May when the undertaking was taken? When you have taken an undertaking signed by the President and Secretary who attest that there has been corruption in Hyderabad, in Goa, in Odisha, in wherever, and then you let these people be. So you allow people to do corrupt practice and then you let them be by just taking an undertaking. So loads of questions will be asked of the BCCI. And a fresh investigation might well be launched because this is a public body, disbursing public functions according to the court, spending public money. And public money, every penny needs to be accounted for, and here we are talking to the tune of a few hundred crores.
And Boria, I want to understand how this process works. All the money that's sanctioned to these state associations, is that done by the BCCI? And is there someone in the BCCI who the state associations have to report to?
Obviously, the money that comes to them, every state association gets grants from the BCCI every year to the tune of 60 crores to 70 crores. So that's a lot of money. Plus they get, for example, the cancellation of the Champions League meant the BCCI has given every state association further money. So there's a lot of money that the BCCI distributes to each of these state associations, and it is done through the President, Secretary and Treasurer. So, and obviously the BCCI working committee takes a call as to how much money is to be given every year. So all of these state associations are answerable to the BCCI. They're based on how these funds have been utilized. And if the funds have not been utilized properly, the funds need to be stopped, which is what has happened now. So there has to be a disbursement policy, like the Lodha panel has recommended, and there has to be proper audit. So Hyderabad, Odisha, and what has happened in the past also needs to be taken into account. It just cannot be that you've wasted hundreds of crores in the past and you will be let off scot-free just because you've given an undertaking. So this is the start of the Pandora's box as far as I'm concerned. Once these reports are made public, and once they are public, then you and I will know what more they contain, because what India Today has learned is pretty damning evidence against the BCCI and the state associations, based on which we did the story, and now the Lodha panel has asked for these reports.
Boria, stay on with us. We're also being joined by Pradeep Magazine on the phone line. Sir, your reaction to this latest development?
Well, it's a good development. We were expecting. I remember last time when you broke the story, we discussed that what could be the next step, and the logical next step the Lodha panel has taken. It has taken note of the story, and it has asked the board to send them the audit report, and they're going to investigate all this, which is not a good news for board, but it's a good news for everyone else who's connected with the game.
Right, and Mr. Magazine, 4 state associations have been asked to submit their accounts, their audit reports. Now the BCCI is expected to submit that before the Lodha panel. Do you think that eventually all state associations will be asked to sort of make their accounts clear before the Lodha panel?
Well, I think that should be the next logical step. If the Lodha panel finds that there are wrongdoings, accounts, the money spent, there is no clear direction in which the money is spent, accounts have been fudged. So why should only these 4 state associations? Why not all state associations should be asked to submit their accounts, and Lodha panel, which is yet to appoint an auditor. The Lodha panel has to appoint auditors to go through all this process. But they have made a beginning, and that beginning is, as I said earlier, very good news for everyone connected with cricket, but bad news for those people who are indulging in all these fudging of accounts, corruption in the board.
Let's also get a word from Boria Majumdar, who's with us on the phone line. Boria, what kind of money are we talking about here?
Serious money, Sydney. I mean, at least to the tune total will be about 200 to 300 crores, if not more. I mean, in Goa, 18 cars were given to managing committee members. Now that will be, at least 3 or 4, 5 crores. In Kerala, land worth 30 crores has been bought, mangrove land, which is now redundant. In Assam, 60 crores worth of loans, no accountability. In Odisha, similar. In Hyderabad, gold jewelry, gold coins being given to managing committee members. So we're talking serious money. So as I said in the past, and as Pradeep was saying, this is not some, a few hundred rupees that can be ignored. This is serious public money being wasted, and there is no transparency or accountability. The people who have done the crime and indulged in corrupt practice is just getting away by giving an undertaking saying, I will not do this in the future. Now, how is that for action by the BCCI, and how is that for transparency? So I'm sure all of these questions will now be raised up once the Lodha panel gets these reports.
Boria Majumdar and Pradeep Maxine, thanks so much for putting these developments in perspective for us. We're going to take a quick break here. Up next, To The Point with Karan Thapar. Do stay with us.